Did I already that? It ain't my fault. Did I already that? Oh, that. Now, that may be the very first time that we have ever let a song play all the way through. I'm going to get started. I'm going to invite some guests off the rip, give you guys an opportunity to hop in, talk some ish, chop it up with your boy. We got two special guests tonight. Special more to me probably than anybody else because I've had the opportunity to work with these guys for quite a long time, see their maturation. Both of those guys, both of these young men were in the transfer portal at one point this year. They both had found homes, and I'm excited to go to a game of both theirs. We got Matthew Downing from Louisiana Tech, formerly of TCU, formerly of Georgia. So he's had a few stops along the way. He's now at La Tech. He's gonna have the opportunity to throw the ball like 50 times a game. I think that's every quarterback's dream, and I'm really excited for him. And then we have Emory Jones. I think that a lot of you guys know Emory. Emory is somebody who is super talented. He was at the University of Florida. Now he is at Arizona State. He gets an opportunity to go to a team that is looking for a quarterback to lead the charge. He is going to be that guy. So I'm really, really excited about all the things that he's going to be able to do this upcoming year. Boom. Let's start with this though. Let us start with this. We're talking about tight end university. Tight end university. And I'm just like, well, tight end university, that doesn't. Well, what people don't know is all the guys who are throwing there, the tight ends that are going to be there, they usually bring their quarterbacks. So you got Travis Kelce. So that means Mahomes is going to be there. You got Kittle. If Kittle's going to be there, Trey Lance will be there. We got the Jets tight end, Zach Wilson will be out there, Kyle Pitts, Marcus Mariota. So we got a who's who of the quarterback position. I think that is so cool that the tight ends are going together and putting together this thing. But I'm going to talk about what quarterbacks and things like that do at events like this because they get an opportunity to share knowledge. And that's something that we do all the time at quarterback takeover stuff. We get the quarterbacks will get in a room. They'll get on the board. They'll get on the film. They'll run their own games, right? So they're running their plays, their concepts, their formation, and they're literally installing the play to all the other quarterbacks. And it gives these guys the opportunity to see like, okay, not only was this guy open, but this is what you're really looking at. Because I think that when we all watch tape, we have an idea of what it should be or what it should look like, especially when we see other quarterbacks or things like that. Just watching a play without the inside knowledge of exactly what was going on. But when these guys are doing it, they're able to get very, very detailed in exactly what it is that they're looking for. All right, so boom. Oh, actually, on this play, we were running 19 weak, right? But we had a 3 technique to the weak side, which is a defensive tackle over the guard. And we had to check out of that versus that front. And then we were going back to a pop pass, which is going to be a play action with a running back to the right. Tight end's going to be hitting across. Like those little things, so they know that, oh, well, he didn't just get to that play. Like they weren't going up there with the anticipation of running that play, but they were able to get to this play because the defense was a little off, or the defense gave them something that was different than what they originally anticipated. And I think that these knowledge shares are so important. One of the plays that we see so often is actually that tight end pop pass that Tom Brady used to run so well to Rob Gronkowski, where he'd open to his right side, he would extend the ball with his left hand, put it in the running back's back stomach, pull it back, and then Gronkowski would show in the block. He'd arc around the outside linebacker, he'd bend it back in the middle. That's your tight end pop pass. That is something that he did not create. He actually got that whole concept from Peyton Manning when they used to run it with Dallas Clark, the Indianapolis Colts. So he used to run this play over and over and over again and they became very, very successful with it. And that's where Tom Brady got it at. So you'll see influence from one team to another, especially after events like this, because these guys are able to share the information. They really get really good at it, and they're able to turn the keys over. And I think that's cool because we're going to have our quarterbacks hop on. They're going to tell you a little bit about how we share information at our quarterback events, the things that they're doing, and the things that have allowed them to be super successful. So what I'm going to do for us right now is give us a little music. I want to give you guys Future, but I know every time I play Future, you guys get going. We're going to give you one song. We're going to give you one song only. And when we come back, we're going to have our guests, Matthew Downing and Emory Jones, and we're going to be talking about some ball. What is up, gang? What is up, gang? Matthew, Emory, I got to ask you a question. Was our music messed up, or was that just mine? Was mine the only one that was choppy? Give me a little information here.
No, mine was working, man.
My shit sounded hella choppy. I wasn't exactly what was going on with the vibes. And then I had to FaceTime Emory because Emory wasn't on. And you know how Emory be fucking up, but he probably wasn't going to get on if I didn't call him. So the whole vibe was thrown out. So I don't know if you guys have ever listened to the show, but we're pretty chill. All right, we're super relaxed. We can kind of talk about whatever it is we want. Maybe before you guys got on, I was talking about Tight End University and how those guys are all coming together. They're talking ball, those opportunities. I want to kind of ask you guys about when you guys get to be on the field with either other quarterbacks. I'll ask you first, Matthew. Either other quarterbacks or NFL guys, and you're on the field. What does like that information download look like to you? Like, what are you trying to get out of a session, not only for yourself, but like in terms of understanding information other guys are either using or doing? What does that look like for you at a session?
I mean, for me, for a session, especially with those other guys, I'm pretty dialed. It's like a sit back and watch type of thing. You know, I don't want to get too involved too early. But you know, if I got a question or something, like if we worked out with Deshaun in the past, Josh in the past, other college guys, guys who play a little bit different than me, maybe have strengths in areas where I don't have strengths. Just be able to take things from them, sit back and watch them when they're going through the reps. So when I get my rep, I get my rep done. But when I'm done with my rep, I'm not just sitting over there talking. I'm really watching what they're doing because these guys are playing at a high level. They're playing high D1 football. They're playing in the NFL. So they're obviously doing something right. So I need to be dialed into what they're doing, how I can grow my game. And then when I feel like at the time where I can ask them a question, I mean, all the guys that train with you, you know that. They're all cool-ass dudes. So it's like, hey, man, like, what makes you do this or what makes you do that? And we just share information back and forth. So it's really just like being dialed, sitting and watching them during their reps. And then when I'm ready to ask a question, I go and ask a question.
Emory, what about you? I know both of you guys have been doing it for a long time with a bunch of really high-level guys.
Basically the same thing. For me, I'm kind of a observer. I try to like sit back and watch the different type of things that different quarterbacks do. I mean, like you said, I come in sometimes and try to ask some questions just to try to pick their minds and see why they do certain things, why they throw with this type of angle on this type of throw. Just like different type of things I can pick up to try to use in my game. So, just really just watching and sitting back and seeing different things that they do.
You ever seen somebody do something and just be like totally fucked up? Like, for example, Ben Bales. We both used to work out with Ben Bales. He would do some shit. You'd be like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Or why did you do that? And the shit would work. And they give you an answer and you still don't understand. You walk away like, never mind. I wish I would not have asked that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but that dude grew up chopping wood and just doing a bunch of crazy shit like that. So he could just throw it as hard as he could and hit a dude in the face. It didn't matter what was going on before.
So you guys were when you were in high school, when you guys used to work out with Deshaun and Josh a lot, they weren't in the league. But when you're young like that, we don't really do that anymore, more because Matthew has a fucking attitude and gets mad if we have a high school kid out there. But
Bro, why are you lying? You're lying. You're acting like we weren't out there the other day and someone brought a high school kid out there. You're like, hey, peace, not again, man. Don't do this shit again, man.
Nah, so Matthew's a turd and he wants to get mad at everybody. Matthew's all about business. But when you guys were out there and you're young and you guys are throwing with college guys, was that like a shot? Or I guess you guys have been around them for so long, it probably seemed normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, go ahead, Emory.
Well, at first, I mean, like when you first start to work out with those guys, it's like, dang, like these guys you look up to, you watching, like you sitting back after your games on Saturday, you watching on TV, watching theirs, and watching them ball out against real, like, I mean, real elite teams. So then you out there like throwing with them, and it's like, I mean, we all were like pretty good when we were like younger. So I mean, like it kind of got to the point to where it was like, it's crazy because we kind of throwing the same. It's just their attention to detail was always much stronger than ours at that time, and they just really, it looked more smoother for those guys. But it definitely was exciting to be able to have the opportunity to work out with those guys, though.
Yeah, it was cool to see them lock in kind of where they're at now and where you guys are going. Especially Matthew, I want to kind of ask you. You've had a fucking journey, right? You've been to this is your third school now, right?
Dude, I could write a book. I could write a book about this shit, man.
You definitely could. You went to Georgia. You went as a preferred walk-on, right? Didn't get really opportunity. TCU, you went as a walk-on, got a scholarship soon after, became the backup, and now you get to go to a program and take over the reign. Like, what does that look like? Because your journey is way different than Emory's. Emory's is way different than yours, but we're both starting Division I college quarterbacks right now. Like, what did that look like, and kind of why did you choose at each different stop in the journey? Why did you choose that spot, and kind of what made the decision? Like, all right, I'm gonna get out of here, and this is what I'm gonna do, and this is why.
So coming out of high school, I mean, I started for 3 years in high school, and I played really well. I had really good film. And after my sophomore year, a bunch of big schools were coming to look at me, and they'd come see me in person and be like, oh, this dude's kind of short, so I don't know if we want to, pull the trigger on him. And then it got closer to senior year, and I just didn't have – maybe it was me being a little naive at that age, maybe not having an open mind to everything. But I won't lie, I saw what Baker Mayfield did at Oklahoma. I'm like, this dude walked on to Texas Tech, played, then walked on to Oklahoma, and went to the college football playoff and won a Heisman Trophy. And so when it came around the time, I just didn't have the huge offers that I wanted. Georgia had been recruiting me for a while. Like, they were going to offer me a scholarship, and they were like, we're going to take 2 quarterbacks. And then when Justin Fields committed there, they're like, hey, man, we're just going to take 1, but, we'll talk to you if we see an opportunity for you down the line. And got to it, and I was like, man, they came to me. They're like, hey, we want to give you a quote unquote preferred walk on, but you're gonna sign with the next class. You're gonna sign with the 2019 class, that early signing period. But you're gonna have a chance to play as a true freshman. I'm like, and then coach's thing, his pitch to me was, you had Jake Fromm in a room and Justin Fields in a room, and both of them, or Jake had played a lot of football, went to a national championship before. Justin was the number 1 quarterback in the country coming in. One of those guys is going to leave probably after 1 year. And that was his pitch to me. I'm like, I sounds like a plan to me, because then after that, I'll have a chance to compete for the backup job and wait my turn to compete for the starting job. So I went. I got to play as a true freshman, played in 4 games, still got the red shirt, played a lot of football, learned a lot from those guys. And then signing day rolled around. They want to sign. I knew they were signing a high school kid. And then like 9 p.m. or something on like that signing day night, I get a notification on my phone. Stetson Bennett signs with Georgia. I'm like, what? I'm like, I was just talking to Coach the other day, like, hey, like, I played well this year. He's like, yeah, man, like, just keep doing what you're doing. So I get on. I text Coach Smart that night. I'm like, I got to talk to you tomorrow. Coaches are blowing up my phone. Trying to get me to answer the phone. I'm like, look, you guys know exactly why I'm trying to come meet with you tomorrow. I talked to
Wait,
my
like
family.
UGA coaches are calling you trying to get the shit back?
Dude, I texted Coach Smart, hey, I want
Mm-hmm.
to meet with you. And then my quarterback coach probably called me like 6 times. I'm like, dude, I'm not, like, you know exactly why I'm coming in to talk to you, Mark. Like, it's not, we're not going to talk this out over the phone. It's just not going to happen. So I talked to you about it. I talked to my parents about it. It's people close to me. And going in there, I'm like, yo, what's the deal? And they just, I don't know, I guess they didn't believe in me, I guess. And so I just really didn't have a choice. I was going to get buried on the depth chart after playing well as a freshman. So I thought going in the transfer portal with some film from college, playing on like the number 4 team in the country, 5 team in the country would be pretty good. So I went in. I had some like mid-major offers. Central Michigan was looking at me because Coach McElwain was there. He recruited me. Florida, Charlie Fry was there. You and him are good buddies.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, my brother was a GA at TCU on the defensive side. He played football there. He texted me one day. He's like, hey, man, the coaches just watched your film in a staff meeting. I think you might be getting a call soon. Like, he wanted to stay out of the whole recruiting thing. He just told him, like, hey, my brother's in the portal if y'all want to look at him. And so I got a call from Sonny Cumbie, who's the head coach here at Louisiana Tech now. He was the offensive coordinator at the time and quarterbacks coach at TCU. He's like, hey, man, we really want you. For this spring when you come in, we literally have already met our 85 scholarships. But, like, as soon as the first one opens up, you're going to sign the dotted line and we want you to come and compete for the starting job right now. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I mean, it's tough to ask your parents to, like, hey, for a semester at a really, like, at a school like that,
That's just high.
it's like, it's not like a cakewalk. And my parents always told me, like, as long as you work hard and you're chasing your dreams, we're going to support you every step of the way. So I was grateful for that. Got a scholarship. Was a backup. They didn't really give me a chance to compete the first year like they said they would, how college coaches go. But was the backup by the end of the year, my first year. Going into 2020, I was a starter all the fall camp. I started the first game of the season against Iowa State, who ended up winning the Fiesta Bowl that year against Oregon, and they were like number 7 in the country. Threw for like 165 and a touchdown. We're down by like 6 at halftime. Took me out the game. A lot of political stuff going on behind the scenes that I just couldn't control. The next year comes around, I'm the backup. A lot more political stuff behind the scenes that I have no control over. Coach gets let go in the middle of the year. Just a lot of stuff going on, and got in contact with you. Like we had talked about, I knew I was grad transferring, and got in the portal, looking around, possibly going other places. And Coach Cumbie got the job at Louisiana Tech. Called me and said, let's go. And that's kind of that. It's a short, long story of me getting to Louisiana Tech. But, man, it's crazy.
What is it? Yeah, I'm going to hop to Emory real quick, and I'm going to come right back to you, Matthew. Emory, your story's a little bit different. I remember being at your house the night that – was it Florida? Florida State was there? Yeah, because they both get new coaches. They both got new coaches.
They both
and
did.
Was it Florida in your house and just sat there so Florida State couldn't get in, or was it the other way around?
It was Florida State was in the house.
It was Willie Taggart.
They was just trying to stay in there forever, so Florida couldn't come. Nah, that was crazy though. That was
that was the day. They tried to stay there the whole day. Florida, exactly. Jeff Collins was on the staff. I feel like he came. He was a DC at Florida at the time. It was quite the night. But you ended up going to Florida. You get behind 2 NFL quarterbacks, Felipe Franks, then Kyle Trask. What is that room like? You, Felipe Franks, and Kyle Trask.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like this tradition, like from when I got there with the guys that was in the room, I feel like it was kind of like a tradition to like really like bring the young guys on. So when I got there, well, when I was coming in, Florida they was just coming off their 4-7 season, and I'm coming in thinking, yeah, I'm about to walk in there and start, like we all do. But I walk in there, I go in there, whatever. Reality hits, of course. It's a lot that I had to do and take care of. But those guys, they really brought me under their wing and taught me a lot. And honestly, I sat behind those guys for 3 years, and I honestly learned a lot. I don't regret it at all. I learned a lot, and just by watching the things that they do, how they are on and off the field, in meeting rooms, how they take notes, just all different types of little tidbits I can pick up. But that definitely, I definitely say sitting, it definitely helped me, but I do feel like it hurt me some. But that was a weird time, honestly, just because that was my first time not ever just playing, like just not playing ball. Of course, I got in some, played some really good ball, but it's different just going the game and coming back out instead of rather than starting the
Being
whole
the
game.
guy
You know
the
what I
whole
mean?
time, yeah, not coming
Yeah,
off the field being a star. What is the
yeah.
biggest?
So
Is that the
then,
biggest shock for both you guys? Like going from high school to college? Because I know that I try and talk to all y'all guys before you go. Like, hey, it's gonna be different. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They did a lot to recruit you. But when you get there, they're
right.
not gonna be fucking with you like they was fucking with you when they were recruiting you. What was the biggest difference for y'all as you guys got going? And I've invited more callers if you guys want to ask these gentlemen questions as we're going through this.
Yeah, that was definitely different for me because, like you said, they at my house. That was probably a couple of days before early signing day, before I actually reported it there. So, I they at my house, and then I sign and get there, and I just remember literally the first week I got to Florida, and I'm walking to the quarterback meeting room, and we got to go upstairs. And Coach Mullen come off the elevator, and I look at him, I'm like, "What's up, Coach?" He literally walked right past me, and the lady behind him was like, "Hey, Emory." I'm like, "Hold up, what's going on? What's really going on?"
Yeah, that's wild. Downing, what was your big okay, this isn't, you know what I'm saying? This is a little different than I thought when I got here.
Yeah, well, for me, it was a little different because I wasn't as highly recruited as Emory was. So I kind of knew going in I wasn't going to play right away. Like I knew I wasn't going to start right away because they just had gone to the national championship with the true freshman and the number one recruit in the country coming in. So, but it was definitely hard, because the weirdest spot, we talked about this last week, the weirdest spot to be on a college roster, rep wise, is the third string quarterback because
Mm-hmm.
because you don't get reps with the offense, but you have to be down there because you have to be ready to play, and you sit through all the meetings and
Yeah,
game plan, and you got to watch film because
yeah,
I was like, man, I'm just gonna be ready whenever. But you don't go on scout team because you have to be with the offense. So there was I got reps during fall camp, I got a ton of reps, and then when we played group of five teams or FCS teams, they would give me some reps because it was they knew I was gonna play that week. I would just get a little bit. So, but it was hard not to just play a lot because even practice I wasn't doing a ton. So it was very frustrating. But it was cool to be able to play as a true freshman a little bit, even though I threw the ball 10 times all year. But it was hard. I'd say the hardest part was going to TCU thinking I was about to walk in and they're going to compete because they had just come off. They went to the Cheez-It Bowl. They were on their third quarterback on the entire year. I don't know if anybody remembers the Cal TCU Cheez-It Bowl. There was 9 combined interceptions within 2 quarters of football. It was ridiculous. So
What a
I
shit
thought
show.
it was brutal. So I was expecting to go in and be really competing to start, and it just wasn't the case. And then the next year I'm starting, and then all of a sudden they just take you out really quick. So that was probably the most challenging year I've had in college was 2020. It was the whole COVID year. I was the starter going into the season and then play a half, and then I didn't play the rest of the year. Literally
Yeah.
I was every practice, all fall, all camp long, then one half, and then just didn't touch the field the rest of the year. So that was pretty shitty. I won't lie.
And I can't only, well, now I can imagine. I remember talking to you, going through all that stuff. We were checking all the time, and I felt for you. But I don't think that enough people like outside of people in a quarterback room or people got recruited in college really know how much coaches lie. Like they will tell you whatever it is they want to try and get you on their team or get you there, but they'll lie to you about, hey, and I'm not going to talk about any coaches specifically, but I know college quarterbacks who left programs just because the coaches just lied so much. Hey, man, I'm going to make sure I get you in second drive or the third drive. This, you know what I'm saying? And they just don't do it. And it's not, and I think that they have to do a better job of managing expectations. If coaches would just be honest with you, hey, man, we honestly probably not give you an opportunity to compete for this job, but we do like you. Here's when you will get your opportunity. I think that they could do a better job in terms of retention and keeping guys interested and locked in. But it's just hard when you just tell people a crock of shit all the time. And I feel like that's his college coaches go to. Like, I'm just gonna lie, and then we'll try and figure it out after that. I won't have y'all talking all the lies you guys have heard, but I know it's funny because I've talked to y'all.
Yeah, no comment. No comment.
I've talked to y'all throughout your college careers. Well, before I let y'all go, I know Emory, you said you got to jump off in a quick second. What advice would you give to ninth grade Emory as you're getting started, and then what advice would you give to Emory right before signing day in terms of selecting college? So you can go ninth grade first, then right before you're picking your team, what advice would you give to him or upcoming quarterbacks who may be in shoes that you're in now?
Ninth grade. Whew. Ninth grade, Emory?
Yeah, you just had the Mississippi State offer at this point.
Yeah. I would say I wish I would have trusted myself more and been more confident within myself and actually got outside of my comfort zone and been uncomfortable just so it'll all pay off in the end.
Uncomfortable in what way? How would you have left your comfort zone? What would you have done?
Just I'd say just stepping out and networking and researching and actually being more outgoing and speaking more in times that I didn't want to, just in a lot of different situations. And I'll say right before signing day, I'll say the same thing. As just trusting myself, being confident in myself and my decisions. I felt like I was holding some stuff back at that time in my life, and like right now, I look back and I wish that I was more confident and just definite in my decisions that I was making.
That's crazy that someone at your status, one of the top quarterbacks in all the country, wishes they had a higher level of confidence. I wish you would have made the Elite 11. I was so mad when you didn't make that happen. Matthew, what about you?
Early high school guy, I don't know if I would change much because I sat behind a senior as a freshman, and I felt like I did everything I could throughout high school to give myself an opportunity. Maybe I would tell myself through the recruiting process, don't be so naive and be open to I was so set on wanting to go play big because I just saw what other guys have been doing. But go somewhere or be open to somewhere where people really want you to be there instead of, I'll always bet on myself. I'll always live by that, bet on myself and believe in myself. But when you get to playing quarterback, especially in college, you're on a time clock and you really just want to play. You're going there to play, and most people want to play at the next level. But to do that, you have to play. So you have to go somewhere where a staff believes in you. They want you to play also. And so I would just tell myself going into college or getting recruited, hey, man, you got to go somewhere where they really want you there too. And they really believe in you and they feel like they can develop you. And so I know it's year 5 and year 6 for me that I'm going to be here for 2 years at Louisiana Tech. But I'll just say, looking back, like where I am now, it just feels good to finally be somewhere where they really believe in you. And I would tell myself going out of high school that would be the ideal situation, because you see guys in the NFL all the time now that are getting drafted from smaller schools, or they're starting out at smaller schools and they're getting opportunities at big Power 5 schools. So I just tell myself, trust the process, go somewhere where people really want you and they believe in you just as much as you believe in yourself. So
those are wise words, Matthew,
That's
Emory.
the
I
one right
appreciate
there.
you. That is the one. I
That's the
appreciate
one
y'all
right
boys.
there.
I appreciate y'all boys hopping on. And yes, I want everybody. Those are important words. I'm gonna make sure that gets video, and we're gonna put that out there in the air so other guys can hear it. Because I think that what you just said was important. You got to go where people really trust you. They really want you, especially with the advent of the one-time transfer waiver. You get on the field, you do well, you get an opportunity to go wherever it is in the world you want to go. So, I appreciate y'all boys taking some time out on a Thursday night to hop on with me. I'm going to play a little quick song. I'm going to let these boys get out of here. I'm going to invite some callers after this song, and we'll finish up.
Sure, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Q. All love, man.
All right, that's a bet. Man, I cut this song short. I wanted to give y'all an opportunity to hop in. I don't know if y'all know how to jump in when I invite callers, all right? So I hit the button. That says invite callers. All y'all got to do on your end is hit that you want to request to talk. Then you get the opportunity to talk. We'll talk about whatever it is that you want. Any question that you may have, anything you may want to ask us. I could talk about what it was like to work with Matthew and Emory, who were just on the show when they were in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade. I've seen those guys at every level. I really just want to give you guys the opportunity to talk to me like I'm talking to you, so we can all have some fun. But if we don't get that, I am going to dive in on some of the stuff that I'm seeing on Twitter. Actually, I'm just joking, because everything that I see on Twitter is people asking me about this lawsuit, which is not that fun to talk about. So, give you guys a couple more minutes. I'm going to let this Drake song finish. I'm going to invite some callers. If I see somebody hop in, I'm going to come check you out. If not, I will be signing out shortly. Well, we got no callers. We have no questions. We have none of that. But as we get out of here, I want to leave one thing with you. I want you guys to always remember your effort is independent of everything else. What that means is your effort is all about you. You get to wake up every day and dictate that. Whether you're on the football field, you're in sales, you're being a dad, being a brother, being a sister, whatever that may look like to you, you are in charge of that every single day. You can decide to put your best foot forward, or you can decide not to. But it is your choice, and I hope you make the right decision and give everything all you got on your path to greatness. Oh, I got a caller. Let me let this caller in. I don't know. Oh, it's Alan. 4 athlete in the building. We don't get many callers often, but look at Alan always stepping up to the plate before we get out of here. Cheney and I have 11:50 tea time tomorrow, just so you know that. Cheney, what up?
Quincy, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually was swinging the club in the front yard, getting ready for tomorrow. I feel like I'm going low tomorrow.
No, I like that. It was fun hearing the perspectives of Emory and Matthew Downing. That's always I don't know, the way coaches are, the way everything is. But the amazing thing about Emory, and I don't know if I've ever told him this before, if Emory Jones is not throwing the football out there back in September of 2017, me and you never meet.
That's fucking right. We met at Sutton Middle School.
Sutton Middle School. No, yeah, I wasn't just creeping around at middle schools, just to let you know. My daughter had a soccer practice, and there was something more interesting going on to the side. Being, it was Emory and just some guys. It was him throwing and some other guys just catching. You were over there, and I just introduced myself, and that's kind of how it. That's where at least it started, and so I'm kind of, and I listened to Emory and him talk about just, being yourself and listening. And like you said, someone in such a position, maybe not having trust in your gut or whatever, but man, I'm in forever debt for him because he's the reason we got connected. So the world is kind of crazy.
Works in mysterious ways. I'm thankful that you were out there that day.
Me too.
Even a godsend. Yeah, it was cool hearing somebody that talented have to go through those struggles because I think that confidence is probably the biggest determining factor in how successful quarterbacks are, but just people in life. Like if you can decide to every day go out there and just have a positive attitude and think you're going to do great things, the amount of times you talk to yourself has such an impact on how things are going to go for you in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, I think it is also just so easy for any athlete or professional or anything. You fall. I mean, you kind of are what your performance is in a lot of ways. I mean, we fall into those type things. We end up valuing our worth based on our performances, which is not always healthy.
No.
But it's definitely good to hear those stories. So just real quick, wanted to hear your thoughts about Live Golf real quick.
Ooh, Live Golf has my attention.
I mean, I know.
I'm fans of anything that disrupts what people have typically done. And it's going to make the PGA Tour have to think about something. Like, what are they going to do in terms of – I mean, if they offer enough people money, everybody's going to go except Tiger. Tiger's the only one who can turn down $1 billion. But everybody else, keep offering them $200 million, $220 million. You're going to see continued exodus of top talent going over there. What do you think?
I think it's probably it's long overdue. I mean, anytime you create an environment of competition where there's been basically somewhat of a monopoly on how things are going to be done, I think it's really exciting for the game of golf. I think it's going to give a lot of young people, young, exciting golfers, an opportunity to make more money. I think it's going to bring some new coverage elements. It's going to put new pressures on the PGA Tour to cover golf tournaments differently. Not so I can just take a nap. So no, I'm excited about it. I love it. I love it kind of just more than what you said as far as, hey, let's disrupt this thing and let's kind of and you can tell PGA Tour is worried because they come out with harsh words. And when anybody comes out in any environment, whether it's two people, groups, or whatever, and you start talking really bad about the other group, you've got some problems with yourself. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
They're feeling the pressure. Yeah, no, agreed. I appreciate it, Alan. What time we meeting at the course tomorrow?
Absolutely. We'll be out there at 11 o'clock.
You're not getting it till 11? I need a little more warm time than that, so I'll probably be there about 10:45.
It's 11:50. It's 50.
I know. You said 11:15.
11:50. 50.
Oh, well, I'll be there at 11. I'll be there at 11 too. We'll hang out.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right, bro.
Well, man, hey, man, great show. All right.
Appreciate it. Everybody, I appreciate y'all joining on, hopping on the queue with Quincy Avery. Look forward to seeing y'all next week. I got some special guests. I got one college quarterback and one NFL quarterback next week. We're going to be hopping on, so I look forward to everybody coming out and joining me on another episode of The Q with Quincy Avery.